The public interest litigation that was filed at the Indian Supreme Court claiming direct Indian military involvement during the final stages of the war in Sri Lanka was withdrawn today. The Secretary of the Delhi Tamil Advocates Association, who filed the PIL, requested that the deployment of Indian forces to a foreign country without parliamentary approval be investigated. However, the Indian Apex Court has informed the petitioner that it cannot issue an order on the Indian Army.
The PIL, citing eyewitness evidence and an international probe, says that a Sikh officer was commanding Indian forces in Sri Lanka in 2009. The public interest litigation filed last week was taken up today by the Indian Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court today took into consideration the public interest litigation that I filed against the Indian military. It was taken up before Justices R.M. Lodha and Kurian Joseph. The PIL was discussed extensively and they expressed their disappointment over the deaths of Tamil people. They said that the judiciary cannot conduct an investigation over this matter. However, we presented the report by the global body over this matter. They told me that they will not underestimate the facts that I have presented. They informed me that the petition was an interesting one. Court informed me that it cannot make a direct order to the Indian Army based on this petition and requested me to make a presentation to the Indian central government. I thereby withdrew my public interest litigation. I believe that the Indian central government will appoint a team to investigate the facts in the report once I put it to them. If they do not, I will seek legal assistance once again.
Meanwhile, journalists raised this issue with Army spokesperson Brigadier Ruwan Wanigasurya at a media briefing convened this morning.
I do not think that we need to answer on whether they were here or not. Military relationship between India and Sri Lanka is a strong one. If you take into consideration the present context, there are Indian military personnel in Sri Lanka. They are receiving training at training centers. There are Sri Lankan military personnel 10 times of that amount in training facilities in India. This situation did exist during the time when the humanitarian operation was taking place. I do not know who was here and who was not here. Because there is a legal process underway, I cannot comment on this. After the completion of this legal process, you will receive an answer.
Do you mean that the Indian Army was involved during this time period?
They were actively involved from 1987 to 1990. Because the matter had been filed in court during the period of the final stages of the war, I do not think it is wise for me to comment on a specific case.
However, the then Army commander says there was no participation by them.
The then Army commander is not in the Army anymore. I am not accepting or denying the statement he made. I cannot comment in an official capacity.
This is not a matter in the Sri Lankan courts, Brigadier. However, statements were made on a previous occasion on legal processes undertaken in the European countries. I believe that since this is not a domestic legal process, you can make a comment.
Are you an attorney? I'm sorry, I cannot make comments without advice from an attorney.